Hello, Team Hustle and Heart, and Lacey's girls too. Thank you for hopping on. So excited to see all of your beautiful faces tonight. I love Thursday nights. They just energize the crap out of me, so I'm happy to see all of you here. Tonight, I have the absolute pleasure of welcoming one of my best friends, thanks to coaching, Lacey Shamion, and I'm so excited for her to share her story with you guys tonight. It's basically going to be a night where we forget about, the tactical business advice and just get down to the real and raw. How do you make this business work when life's hard? Because it's going to be a roller coaster for so many of you, and life happens to us at different paces, and we're all in different seasons. And the ultimate goal is making sure that we have a viable business and we have a strong support system in place, which is you guys, so that when life does get hard, you still push through and you get through it and you see light at the end of the tunnel. So, Lacey, you want to kick it off and chat about your story first?
I would love to. So thank you so much for that introduction. I'm so excited to be on here and talking to you guys. I think telling my story is probably one of my most favorite things, just because it's something that's obviously true to me and true to my heart. So I actually started coaching August of 2015. So a little over 3 years. Finley was 6 months old. I was randomly scrolling through Facebook one night, like in the middle of the night. I think I was breastfeeding her. I was just like delirious. And there was this girl on Facebook and she's like, 3-day coaching sneak peek. And what caught my eye is she was having fights with her husband about like small transactions at like the mini mart, and they were $100,000 in debt. And she basically like just went all in with this business. And I was like, I don't know what it is, but I accepted the invite, went through the 3 days, and then I just ghosted her. And it was, it was like Monday. I did everything that she told me to do. She told me to like write down my big scary dreams, why I was even in that 3-day sneak peek, what I could do with, XYZ, staying home or whatever, whatever my dreams were. And I completely ghosted her. Didn't sign up. She sent me, at this point in time, you guys, we did not have the wonderful like all access pass and everything like that. So what I was signing up for was like Shakeology and a DVD. And so I completely ghosted her. A couple days later, she was like, hey, I just wanted to follow up and see if you had any problems signing up. I was like, I can't afford Shakeology right now, but I did talk to my husband and I can sign up for the $40. And she's like, great. So at that point in time, we basically got together with a getting started right call and made a plan as to how I was going to make enough money to purchase Shakeology. I had Insanity from college that kicked my ass in college, and it was just sitting there collecting dust, and I had never touched it. And I was like getting ready to start my postpartum journey. So everything, it kind of like fell into my lap. So really, it's funny when people are like, did you have objections when you first started? I didn't, because I was just ready to make a change, and it all just kind of happened in a really wonderful way. So that's a little bit, how I started was a 3-day sneak peek. That's one thing that I want you guys to remember when you're inviting. How were you invited to this opportunity, right? How were you connected with this? Was it, a one-on-one message, or was it a big group? Like, however it is, because that's how you're going to find your tribe. So that's just a little tidbit right there. So do you want me to keep going, Liz?
If you want to, if you're ready to keep
going.
No,
you go. I'll just play off you.
Okay. Yeah, we're friends. We're just gonna chat tonight. So I love that Lacey talks about like, how are you invited? Because so often I think we feel like we stall out when we want to reach out to people either about joining a challenge group or signing up to coach on this team. But then when I talk to you guys one-on-one, you're all so passionate and you love what you do. So what was it about our conversation, you and me, or if you're not a personally sponsored coach of mine, what was it with you and your upline that really sold you on this? Go back to that conversation, because if whatever that person said worked for you, Lacey said, you're going to find your tribe doing the same thing. So if that method that they use to reach out to you and really connect and create a relationship, I want you to duplicate that over and over and over again, because that's how you're going to not only find your tribe, but you're going to build a freaking empire, right? Yes. So you started coaching in 2015. You're almost going to be, oh my gosh, 4 years. That's crazy. That's
Yes.
awesome. I know that you didn't really commit right away to the business aspect, and it took you a little bit of time to, they say, treat your business like a business. Do you want to talk about how that process happened for you?
I do. So, okay, got super excited. I literally word vomited over all of my people. I knew I was pumped about it. So I knew that I had to go Emerald and I needed to do it quick because team cycle bonuses and all of the things. So I signed my husband up, my mother-in-law, my mom, and my dirt friend. So I talk about dirt friend. If any of my tribe's on this call, dirt friend is literally like, you're like, here, best friend, I'm eating some dirt. And she's like, okay. So, and that was my friend Mary. We have babies that are 5 weeks apart. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but apparently now I'm drinking this shake. Shanti's kicking my ass, and somehow I get paid for it if I do things correctly. So do you want to come do this with me? And she's like, okay. So with Emerald as soon as I could, and quickly right out of the gates, I had signed like 16 coaches in 6 weeks, literally by word vomiting and just like being so pumped and passionate. And then reality started setting in. It was harder as Finley got a little bit older. We were to the point within like our home that I had to figure out, if me going back to work was something that I had to do. So there was life happening to me. I did not have the same mindset that I have now. As to now, I have enough Rachel Hollis going around in my head that I know that life happens for me. And so I can take that perspective. But at that point in time, we were brand new parents. We'd been in our new town across the state. Basically, we were in Eugene for almost 2 years at that point in time. So still like super new, brand new parents, just trying to figure things out. And I did have these big, huge visions for my business, but I was letting life happen to me. And so I completely like stalled out. The end of 2016, I did help Big Misfit Republic, our team, hit elite that year by me going diamond. But I did that with like the help of like my cousin, like bribing her and like signing up my aunt and doing that kind of stuff. So it wasn't a substantial business at that point in time. I just knew that I did want to help the bigger team and that I did have a big picture for this, but my heart and my vision and my why just still wasn't big enough. So that was the end of 2017. No, excuse me, 16, sorry. Okay. And then, so basically 2016 till July of 2017, I literally did nothing. I was honestly still an Emerald coach at that point in time. I had some discount coaches. I tried here and there. Every once in a while, if someone would reach out and be like, hey, are you still doing that Beachbody thing? Be like, yeah. They'd be like, okay, well, I want to do it. I'm like, okay. So there was like a little commission coming here and there. And, that was nice and fun. It wasn't until July of 2017 that I got a phone call that my dad was diagnosed with leukemia. And at that point in time, my entire world stopped. And it was also the time where I was really trying to work on myself. My relationship with my husband was getting better. A lot of things were good and stable in my life, but then it literally came crashing down with that news of my dad. Thankfully, at that point in time, I wasn't working like a corporate job. I had worked an entire year while Finley was little in an OBGYN office that I worked at before I got pregnant with her. So it was nice, but life was just crazy. So that happened. I was able to, so I wasn't working. Sorry, I'm trying to connect all the dots. After that phone call, basically I told my husband, I have to go to Washington to help my mom, and I don't know when I'm going to be back. We have to figure out, get things going with my dad. And he's like, nope, that's fine. So at that point in time, I leave. I go to Washington, and for whatever reason, I had a couple people who I'd talked to probably a year, maybe two before, come to me, and they were like, hey, I need help. And I was still kind of showing up in a way that apparently people still found approachable, which that's always huge. Be approachable, be authentic in your journey, share all the things. And they were like, hey, I would really love to, get going. And at that point in time, I was probably at my heaviest weight that I had been since, being 9 months pregnant with my daughter. And it was just a really, really hard time. And even though things were hard and super shitty, I had those people still reach out to me. And I had a couple of my coaches on my team that were like, hey, I kind of think I want to work this business. Like, are you in a place to do that? And I have a lot, going on. And I'm like, yeah, I think I can. And it was kind of just divine timing of sitting there. My sister and I, we were on watch basically for my dad while my mom was handling some stuff. And I was helping mentor some girls, and I had made like a couple sales, and it was just like, man, this feels so good that I can be away from my husband, and I can be supporting my mom and supporting my dad and doing all of these things, but still working and bringing in this income. And at that point in time, seeing my dad so physically ill that he couldn't go walk to the bathroom by himself, we had to, help him, like physically he could not move. It was really eye-opening for myself that, I have the ability to move. I'm just choosing not to. And it was at that point in time that was just enough. It was just enough for me to be like, I have to make a change. And that's when it clicked. And I think the biggest piece of advice that I could tell anybody is, you can sit and you can have these dream boards and these visions. And yes, you have to have something that you need to work for. And if it's financially that you have to look at like X amount of debt that you have to like just cut down every week as you're getting paid, then that's awesome. If it's, big mansion or pay off your car or whatever, or even if it's just little things that you want to go, take your kid out for ice cream once a week or whatever it is. But if your why is not strong enough, and like literally, I didn't think this was true until it happened, but if your why does not make you hit your knees sobbing because you want it so bad, it's not going to be big enough. There's not going to be enough personal development, enough self-help journals, enough awesome motivational quotes out there that is going to make you want to work your business unless it's like something true to your heart. So I encourage you to sit down, and like I say, I don't dismiss. I have my vision board. It's pretty, it's sparkly, it's beautiful, and I love it, and I am working on it. But what it comes down to is that freedom for my family, that support, and my ability to move and show up every single day. That is why I do what I do. And so the moment that it clicked, all hell broke loose in the most amazing way. So during that time, thankfully, 80-day obsession was getting thrown around. People were like, this is going to be the next big thing. And I knew at that point in time, if I wanted to make this work, I dabbled long enough. I hemmed and hawed, and I told myself, like, it's time to show up or shut up. And I told my husband this, and I said, I need to do everything that I can. Give me 1 year to show you that I can do this. Like, drink my shake every day. I'll work out. I'm going to go to Summit. I'm going to do all of the things, and I want to show you that I can make this work. He told me, I told him that I was going to do 80-day obsession. And it was just enough because, people closest to you know how to push your buttons. He told me, he's like, you can barely even do 21 days. You think you're going to do 80? Oh, hell no. It was just enough to be like, yes, I am. And watch me. And I did. And it literally changed everything in so many different ways. Physically, financially, my paychecks were getting bigger, obviously, because I was showing up. And I actually, crazy enough, I committed. So if you're not committed to a program, girl, commit right this second. You have like what time? Well, I know it's later for you guys, but right now, all my Pacific Standard Time people, it's literally 6:45. Get your butt up. If you haven't committed to a program, do your day one right now. Like, seriously, you have to commit to a program, and you have to show up authentic, and you have to just share your journey. And it doesn't always have to be pretty, because it's not always going to be pretty, but that's what's going to be real, and that's what's going to attract your people. So there's that.
So good. Oh my God, are you guys like lit up right now? I think the most important thing from my perspective to take away is, if your why doesn't make you want to get out of bed on the hardest of days, if your why is not one of the last things you think about when you fall asleep at night, like, you need to get back to the drawing board. And I love that Lacey talks about, you can do the vision boards and you can do the journaling and all these things, but until you take concrete action, I mean, there's a difference between personal development and working on yourself and committing, but that's only half of our job. The other half, you've got to do the income producing activities. So telling people what's working for you and, telling people I've been drinking my shake, Shanti's kicking my ass like Lacey did. And just putting your heart out there, because someone out there is going to connect with every little thing you're talking about, and they need you to reach out and make the first move. Because if we're shy and we're the leaders, imagine how everyone else feels creeping on us. No one's going to reach out. Maybe 1 or 2 people out of every 20 or something will be like, hey, what have you been doing? Otherwise, it's a lot of like chiseling away at the person that you're reaching out to, like, hey, what's actually going on in your life? How can I be your best friend and help you feel the best you've ever felt? Like, that's what we get to do, guys. That's amazing. And the fact that we all might have different whys, but at the end of the day, we are working on other people and helping build their confidence, that's huge. And that's not your why. That's just the mission of our work. And I'm obsessed with how powerful that is. And I know that Lacey is too. But so what would you say, since you committed to this business wholeheartedly, what would your average work day look like? Because I think there's a misconception that you have to put in like a 9 to 5 hour schedule to make a 9 to 5, type of income. And you don't.
No, but I also don't want to say that, because I think a lot, and I used this when I first started, because I had a lot of women that were in the same season of life, and it was like, oh, you can work your business, 1 to 2 hours a day or whatever. But here's the thing, every Sunday, my freaking phone tells me how long I've been on Instagram, or like how long I've been on screen time each week. And I'm like, shit, need to work on that a little bit. So I think what my biggest suggestion is, what do you want your business to look like? I say this to my coaches who come on. This business can be anything that you want it to be. If you want it to be a side hustle, awesome, then do that. If you literally just love the discount, I have a bunch of ladies on my team who just love the discount. That's awesome too. But if you are ready to go all in, then you need to make non-negotiables for your business every single day. Now, it's my alarm telling me that my team calls on, but my team's here, so that's good. But I truly, my part of my power hour, or whatever you want to call it, that is me getting up in the morning and doing my personal development. That is me making a list, brain dumping all of the crap that I need to do for the day, the week, whatever. I literally write down every single morning, I need to work out. I work out at 6 with my crew most days. But that is part of me. That's part of me working. I personally like to do some sort of invite every single day. And this is where working can be super fun. And when you take the weirdness, or, you're feeling salesy, I literally come out and tell my people, here's the thing, I'm going to be annoying the next, what are we doing? 42 days, the next 42 days. And for the next 42 days, I'm going to ask you if you want to join, because literally it's timing for so many people. Like, it probably, for like Liz's crew, it may have taken you 6 weeks, 6 months, or whatever, until you're finally like, yeah, I think I can do what she does. And that's just the reality for a lot of people. Everybody's seasons are different, things come up, and we have to honor that. But at the same time, looking back as to when I stepped back and when things got hard and life was happening, not for me, but to me, the first thing to go was my business. The first thing that I put on the back burner was my business. And now when shit gets hard, the first thing I lean into is my community and my people. And I know that I am going to feel better after I break that sweat. So truthfully, it kind of depends on the day. Coming back around to my work day. Sorry, I just had to put that in there. You have to lean into your community. But like, I don't like to be too fluffy, but I do think that like having a, like, how would my day, like a visualization of how would my perfect coaching day be? Like, write that down and then somehow start scheduling that into your real life work week what you're doing right now, and make time for it and commit to it. If you are going to reach out or connect with 10 people that day, then freaking do it. Like, you have to set yourself up for success, and you have to hold yourself to that higher standard, because if we don't, then we're just attracting people who are just going to kind of half-ass things. Sorry if there's children around. But what I'm trying to say is, you can make this business whatever you want it to be. So my personal day, I wake up, I do my power hour in the morning. It takes me a little bit to drink my Energize and wake up in the morning. I like to do my personal development, brain dump, do all that kind of stuff, check in with my people, return messages, and then I get my sweat on. And then I just like quick do a little chit chat about my workout, how it kicked my ass, did an invite. And then throughout the day, I'm reaching out and connecting to people. You guys, if you are not utilizing, obviously, team crawl trainings like this, but YouTube, there's not lack of resources out there. Like, there's lack of people just doing the dang thing and being figure outers. Like, Google will be your best friend. YouTube will be your best friend. Top coaches, like, we don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to anything like this. You can literally YouTube or Google anything, watch someone who inspires you, make it your own, and put it out there. Like, I get so fired up when people are like, this business, it just doesn't work. Well, are you working? I think the biggest thing is, for me, is when your business is at a standstill or not going where you want it to be, are you doing your workout and are you sharing? Those are the biggest things. Like, I do believe that personal development is so, so huge, but if you are not doing your workout and showing that you are a product of the product, no one's going to want to buy what you're selling. And that's the thing. When you get over the fact of showing up every single day, you're going to get more confident and you're going to get more comfortable with sharing and inviting. And when you show up and then you reach out to someone and you slide into their DMs, they're not going to be like, oh, you are just trying to sell me something. Be like, oh no, actually, I have been watching you for a while and you're kind of the real deal. Yeah, let's talk. Okay. So those are just some of the little tidbits that I have when it comes to working your business each day.
I love that. It's so true though, because you've got to be your own success story. And it actually ties into the comments that you can't see, Lace. So I'm just going to read to you.
Okay.
Madison asks, in your guys' opinion, is it helpful to post personal before and after pictures and in between update pics? So like progress pics when you're in the middle of a program. I have an answer, but let's hear from you first.
I say yes. I say do it. And if you have like and I don't even like to call them before pictures. I think all pictures should be progress pictures, because this is a journey. This is your life. This is not something that, like, I know that when I finish Transform 20, that's not going to be like my final me, because I've been like, the best shape that I've been in years was after ADD Obsession. Did lift 4, fine. It was summer. I was enjoying the crap out of myself, but I still shared those. And that's one thing. I think that we have a misconception of, we have to have like the certain before and after. I'll share it with Liz and she can share with you guys, but my lift 4 picture, I posted my before picture. My other picture was in my swimsuit, and I did get pretty good results. I gained a lot of muscle. But then around like the border, I showed all of the things that I did that summer. I celebrated camping with my dad, who was in remission from cancer. I celebrated my cousin's 30th birthday with beer. I celebrated all of these things. And you have to show the journey. You have to show that, you're not just a coach and that's all you do. And that all you are is eating salads and drinking this shake and working out and having 6-pack abs. No, because that's not real for anybody. Like, that's not real for anybody. And I would never want to set that expectation or that tone for anyone coming in to my tribe. Months ago for Success Club, this was like maybe the beginning of last year, we got to do a Zoom call basically with Rachel Hollis, and she was talking about how you can portray like your Shakeology. Like, why do you drink this? Why does it make you feel so good? Like, I'm not going to buy that vacuum cleaner. I want to see what it does, right? Like, I just don't post a pretty picture of all of the things. If you follow me on Instagram, had a rambling rant about this kind of stuff today, that nobody wants the final version of you. They want to see you struggle. And I don't say that in like, they want to see you fail, but they want to see like you put in the work and you show up. And there's some crazy statistic that people have to see something like 7 to 9 times before they even think that they can do it themselves. That's a lot of freaking time. So that means you have the responsibility of showing up every single day to show those people, if I can do this, you can too. I have a 3-year-old. I have another business. I have a husband. All of these things, we all have different things. But when we just stop with the excuses and just show up, amazing things happen. So share all of that. And even if you have like a regression picture, you got to share those too, because my current before pictures are not where I ended in the 5 programs that I've just finished. My body changes each time, and every body is different. So your transformation is going to be completely different from the next. So you have to show that, and you have to own that.
Absolutely, 1000%. And this is just the perfect thing that we're talking about too, is because, I mean, obviously working your business, and we think about business as, we sit down and we focus on our business, blah, 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 but the working out and choosing to eat well most of the time, those things are just as important, if not the most important, because you have to focus on yourself first. And that's what I love about what we do, is that you are literally your priority. For once in your life, we are telling you need to put yourself first. And the fact that life happens to all of us, I had a similar experience. Like this winter, I had a really crap December and I put on weight, and I didn't carry it in a way that made me feel proud. And I had a lot of guilt tied to it. But then I showed up for Transform 20 and I was like, you know what? This is not a before. This is not the end of my journey. It's just a stepping stone to where I'm going to be the next time I post pictures. And I showed up with grit, and I love that word, and it's a part of Lacey's team, but you just got to sink your teeth into that opportunity and just go with it, and know that where you are right now is not where you're going to be in 3 months or 6 months, because when you keep doing those things and the compound effect, amazing things can happen for you, and because you're doing them and you're putting in the work, and then you can look back and say, I did that. Look at those hard things. I did that, and I kept doing it over and over and over again, and now look at me. So it's just, you just got to show up, it's all about showing up. I also have to say, Lacey, you can't see this. Lauren goes, yeah, people want to see you, not Nancy from California who they don't know. I cannot relate to that more.
Exactly.
Because when people go to your page, like you said, they're not signing up for Shakeology. And I talked about this last week with my girls, is you're not telling people why to buy Shakeology. You're telling people why to buy Shakeology from you, why to do this program with you, because there are other people they can do these things with. And so when you show your progress, they know that you're going to show up and you can coach them to get those exact same results. They're going to go to your page. They want to see you. That's who they want to see. So absolutely, I agree with everything that Lacey said. Madison says, I've gotten tons of amazing feedback from people from my in-between update pictures. She's doing Transform 20 with me. She's kicking ass. And then nice. She says she's at work, so she's got to go close the gym. But she says, thank you, Lacey. You've inspired the shit out of me.
Oh, yay.
Love it. Do you feel like you shared your entire heart, like no stone left unturned? Do you want to go to questions, or do you have more left that we can chat about?
I think I pretty much said what I wanted to say, other than this community can be literally life-saving, and don't dismiss making friends, because this whole journey is absolutely, it's insane to me that I would have never probably ever known Liz if it wasn't for this, and she probably knows way more about me than she even wants to at this point in time. But
so many weird things.
Don't dismiss the community. And when things are hard, reach out to your upline, or maybe someone who, I don't know, and this is actually something that I need to probably do on my team page, is just go through and like have everybody write down when they signed up, because having that connection of kind of being on the same level of people, and reaching out and, you know, having that buddy that you can bounce ideas off of, because chances are, and I know that Liz touched on this, that people are just as nervous to reach out to you as you are to them. And that maybe even goes for people on your same team. So just make sure that you're really making those connections. And I can't stress enough that you have to be just authentic and real, even when it's hard. And those are the things that people are going to connect with you the most, because, you know, like Nancy in California, who even knows her? Like, I don't, but I don't have abs like her, and I'm not in the million club. So chances are, like, you can make me dream big, girl, but that I don't connect with you. Like, I need the mom who like struggles, who's a hot mess all the time and is still trying to make this work. So wherever you're at in your life, never ever dismiss your story. Even if you're like, I don't have a transformation, I don't have anything, that's almost the best, because you can go in that like naiveness and being like reaching out to your friend, or literally putting it out there like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but apparently Shanti is going to kick my ass for the next 42 days. Does anybody want to work out with me for 20 minutes a day? Like, go in like that. One of the best ways that I get feedback and start conversations with ladies is ones that I've been following and connecting with, and I finally get the courage. I'm not drinking this month. No, I'm not pregnant, but I'm not drinking this month. But I would literally send out all my invites after like 2 glasses of wine, because that's when I was like, oh yeah, everybody wants to join my team. And I would be like, girl, I've been girl crushing on you for literally weeks. Like, your name has been on my list for me to reach out, but I'm such a baby. But here I am, 2 glasses deep of wine. Like, this is what I have. Do you want to join me? And a lot of my connections have come that way. I don't know if I'm really proud of it or whatever, but anyways, it starts. And like, that's just part of me. Like, my tribe, I want to have snuggled up coffee with them in the morning and get wine drunk at night. Like, those are your people, right? So goals right there. I love it. I did see some of these, but it's true, right? Like, you have to, whatever it takes. Like, please don't everybody be like, I'm gonna get drunk and send out invites. Like, don't do that. But when you're feeling good, and here's another thing, like, I highly suggest inviting, or at least putting a public invite or pull or whatever, when your endorphins are high. So usually after your workout. So it's really great to be like, that workout just kicked my ass. Anybody want to do this with me? Like, whatever. And then when your endorphins are so high, you're like, you don't even care, right? You don't even care what people say. So those are like my little tidbits when it comes to inviting. So yeah.
I love that. One of my tricks too is to do it right after I listen to like a podcast or something, because then I'm fired up and I don't have to worry or rely on just my own words, because I already got some really good quotes from, you know, this guy who teaches you how to work your network marketing business, like
Right.
firing me up. And they don't know. They're like, wow, she's insightful, or oh my gosh, you motivate me. Thanks, but that's not my own words. So they don't need to know that though. Wherever you pull inspiration, you can, you know, use whatever Sean T's yelling at you when you're sweating balls, like, use all of the good fuel throughout the day and channel that into your people, because they're going to feel it and they're going to want it for themselves.
Exactly.
It's so contagious to share endorphins and all the healthy, amazing things you're putting into your body and your mind. Does anyone have questions they want to drop in the chat, or feel free to unmute yourself?
I'm not scary, I promise.
No, you're not. I'm so thankful you were able to do this tonight. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, I'm pumped. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Oh my gosh. Catherine goes, my boyfriend was listening into the conversation but wouldn't kiss me before he left for work. He's embarrassed of you ladies. Aw, Josh. What?
I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your story, because I recently lost my dad to cancer. So it means a lot just to know that I'm really not alone.
You're not. You're in my heart and my prayers.
Thanks.
We love you, Liz, so much.
So that's all I just, thank you.
Lacey, your story is amazing.
No, thank you.
Thank you for sharing it so genuinely and wholeheartedly, because clearly you're impacting some girls tonight, and that's just amazing. You are amazing.
I
All
love that. Hard. Life is hard. It's
Yeah.
just shitty things happen. And that's why this community is here. And I like truly believe that. And even if for whatever reason coaching doesn't turn out to be what you want it to be, I fully believe that what this community, like Beachbody as a whole, people just to live a healthier, better life, that is going to be ingrained in so many people's lives. Because when you go through hard shit, you know that there's something positive that you can lean on, whether it's people, personal development, or whatever it may be. So
I love that. Guys, I'm going to end the recording. Thank you again, Lacey. We love you so much.
of course.